Hey guys, this video is going to be a review of the new live-action Beauty and the Beast. I want to go ahead and say I'm sorry for any noise that you hear in this video. They tore down a house behind our house and they're currently cleaning up all of the mess in my rooms in the back of the house. First of all, I want to say that the animated Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I love that movie. Belle was always my favorite Disney princess, and actually at that time was one of the only Disney princesses that I actually liked. There are like two other exceptions, but most of the older Disney princesses I found boring as a kid. She was definitely my favorite because she loved to read. That's kind of like her signature thing and what she's known for. But because I loved Beauty and the Beast so much, I was really excited when Disney announced that they were going to make a live action. I wasn't actually nervous about it like some people get when they're remakes and such, because I didn't feel like anything that they did in the live action, even if the live action was terrible, was going to ruin the animated version for me. So I was just really excited to see what they would do with it. Because Hermione was like my other childhood hero, I was actually really excited when they cast Emma Watson as Belle, even though I wasn't at all expecting it. I thought it was interesting that she would be singing when she hadn't sung in anything before, but I was just really excited. I wasn't really nervous about that either, and I really did love the movie. In my head it is kind of a separate thing from the animated movie. I really like having the live action in addition to the original, as much as a movie based on a fairy tale can be an original. I like how this movie came at a time where CGI has advanced so much and been used enough that I was really confident that they would have a really convincing Beast in the movie, and they did. They did a great job with the Beast. I fully expected that going into the movie, not just because of the trailers and everything, but because of what Disney and other studios have done in the past. Like, we already knew that they had the ability to do that. Something I want to point out though, and this actually came up with my family after I saw it for the second time, I feel like the wolves were the least realistic looking CGI in the movie, which I thought was interesting. The first time I saw the movie, I was actually kind of taken out of it a bit in the scene where the wolves are attacking Belle, because I did kind of think like they don't look as realistic as everything else, like the Beast and all the household objects and everything. The wolves, just, there's something about them, and I can't pinpoint it or anything, that's just not as realistic as everything else. And I don't know if they thought that the wolves were such a small part of the story that they could pay less attention to them, or what. It's not a big complaint, but it is something I thought about both times I was watching the movie. There has been a lot of talk about the Belle in this movie being like a feminist upgrade, which is funny to me because there's nothing about her that's particularly like out there or a huge shock or anything like that. To the rest of her village, obviously she is like something way out there and strange, but in terms of the Belle of the original movie and the Belle of the new movie, I really don't feel like they're that different. None of the changes they made really change her all that much. She invents a washing machine in this movie, but I wouldn't have been surprised if the Belle in the original movie did the same. She teaches a girl how to read in the new movie, but again, I probably wouldn't be surprised if the old Belle had done that. To me, they very much feel like the same character, and like the same character could have done all of the things in both movies. I'm not saying that those changes weren't great because I loved those little details. I'm just saying that they didn't really change Belle as a character for me. She still felt the same. I thought it was interesting though how much the villagers seemed to, like, if not hate her, at least really dislike her in the live action, to the point of dumping her laundry all over the ground. Because in the animated movie, I feel like they just mostly find her amusing. And we had the conversation with Belle and the Beast about how the villagers hated her, which I did like from the standpoint of it giving them something in common. Most of the rest of the big changes I feel like I heard about before seeing the movie, and that was really the only one that I hadn't been expecting when I watched the movie for the first time. We also have some new music in the live action. I have to admit that Belle's song wasn't really my favorite when I listened to it for the first time, and I listened to it for the first time on the soundtrack because I listened to the soundtrack several times before I saw the movie. It wasn't until my second time of seeing the movie that I felt like I actually enjoyed that song. The first time I was watching it or whatever, I don't know why, but I didn't really like it, just like I hadn't really liked it on the soundtrack. But my second time watching the movie, I feel like it had really grown on me, and I actually really enjoyed that seed, and I feel like I'm only going to come to like it more in the future. Evermore, the Beast's new song at the end of the film, also wasn't my favorite when I heard it on the soundtrack, but in the case of that one, the first time I saw the movie and saw it in the context of the film and like saw the Beast singing it, I actually really loved it immediately. But I did need to see it in the film. It wasn't the same hearing it on the soundtrack. One thing I think would have been really awesome though is if they had put Human again into the live action, because I actually really love that song. There was a lot of controversy with LeFou before the movie came out. I really loved Josh Gad's performance. I don't think that anyone could have played LeFou as well as he did. I think what's most frustrating to me about the controversy and everything like that is how small it is in the film. I feel like if it hadn't blown up before the film was even out, it wouldn't have blown up at all. The change that they did make to LeFou's character that I really love though, and that I think should be a lot bigger deal, is that they made him far more redeemable in the live action. He actually changes sides in the middle of the fight, and I love his new line in the mob song about like the village people being the actual monsters. Like, it's such a brilliant line and it works so well. I also have to throw out there that the sets look amazing. I desperately wish that I could visit that castle. Oh, and the Shakespeare quote that Belle recites when she's sitting by the Beast's bed is actually my favorite quote ever. So that was a nice little moment for me. Let me know in the comments how you felt about the movie, if you liked it or not, and I will see you guys later. Bye.